Well, hello, it is Leonora. I have never done a live on YouTube before. Can you believe it? So, do bear with me. I hope it's all kind of set up and working okay. So today we're going to talk about brain fog. Um, and it's a topic that I've had 5 people ask me about in the last week, so I thought it was, a good time to talk about this. It's clearly a common topic, and people, don't understand it very well. So you may have experienced brain fog if you've ever felt like your brain is not focusing, if your mind is moving in slow motion, or even that you're temporarily a little bit more forgetful than you normally are. That, my friends, is brain fog. And it's not a medical diagnosis, but if you felt it, it is very real. So we're going to talk about what it is and what causes it, and some neuroscience-based tools that can help you with it. And we're also going to talk about when you should see a doctor, because it can be a sign of something more serious. Before we go any further, I'd love to introduce myself. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Leonaura Rhodes, a physician with a master's in public health turned life coach and brain health coach, obsessed with helping people optimize their lives and improve their brain function, especially as they get older. So, what is brain fog? Like I said, it's not a medical term, but it is a term that people use when their brain feels sluggish or they are having an off day. And it often shows up as trouble concentrating, forgetfulness, mental fatigue, slower thinking, or even kind of feeling a bit detached, like you're in a haze. And from a neuroscience perspective, it reflects low activity in the front part of your brain, and also the front part of the brain is probably having trouble communicating with the rest of your brain. Now, the prefrontal cortex is the part of your brain, it's the most highly evolved part of your brain that helps you focus, plan, and make decisions. So it's super important. And it is tied to the very important neurotransmitters, dopamine and norepinephrine. And sometimes when you have brain fog, there is an imbalance in these. So think of it like this. If you have brain fog, your brain isn't broken, it's just misfiring, not working as well as it should be. So what causes it? There are several things that can cause it. In fact, there's probably hundreds of things. I'm going to talk to you about the top 7. The first is poor sleep. Your brain clears out toxins when you are in deep sleep. And if you're not sleeping enough and not getting into deep sleep, oh well, you literally have waste building up in your brain, causing inflammation, and it can lead to brain fog. The next is something that I suffered with for many, many years, over 10 years of severe chronic stress. As a junior doctor and then as a parent of 2 sick children, I am very familiar with how awful chronic stress is. And the problem with chronic stress is that it shuts down parts of the prefrontal cortex. And this is why you can't think straight when you're overwhelmed. So chronic stress is one of the, major causes of brain fog. The next, very importantly, is being physically unwell. Even mild illness like a cold or flu or even a slight fever puts stress on your body and your immune system and can cause inflammation, and this affects brain function. Blood sugar swings are the next thing. If you eat a lot of sugar or processed foods and you have big spikes and then crashes, during the crash, it may feel like brain fog. Dehydration, even mild dehydration, shrinks your brain volume slightly and slows your thinking. Next is inactivity. Your brain loves your body to move because there's many, many reasons, but 2 top ones. Exercise boosts blood flow and increases a compound called brain-derived neurotropic factor that is like Miracle-Gro for your neurons. The 7th thing, and you're probably going to groan at this because many of us are guilty of this and suffering from this, is digital overload. If you are constantly getting notifications, pings on your phone, messages coming in, that is hijacking your attention. Your poor old brain doesn't know what to focus on. And it's like having 20 tabs open on, on your computer. It is not going to work as well. And by the way, I'm also guilty of having too many tabs open on my computer. So what is really kind of going on at the brain level? Those are some of the causes. What is going on? Brain fog can occur if you have a neurochemical imbalance in your brain, especially low dopamine, that reward neurochemical that everybody talks about. And a group of people that are often very affected by this is people with ADHD who naturally have trouble creating high enough levels of dopamine, especially when they're doing things that are not interesting or new or stimulating to them. Another group is people with depression and also people who are chronically burned out with stress. This impacts all of the neurochemicals in the brain, affects the balance of them, and can lead to brain fog. Hormonal shifts, thyroid issues famously cause problems with energy production in the body and with brain health, and also the dreaded perimenopause and menopause that us women have to go through. This can cause the hormone imbalances can cause brain fog. Post-viral inflammation, especially after COVID. Yes, long COVID brain fog is real. I personally suffered with it for 5 months. It was awful after I had COVID pneumonia. And I really had trouble focusing. Some days I couldn't even remember the word for a chair or remember my own name. And so post-viral inflammation of the brain is real, and it can cause very profound brain fog and other symptoms too. Then we have medications. The most common culprits are antihistamines and sedatives and even some supplements. Be really careful with supplements. Make sure you're not overdosing. I recently found out I was overdosing on B6 from a combination of 3 different supplements, and it led to nerve damage in my feet. Amazing. Who knew? Then we have mental health conditions, especially anxiety, trauma, and low mood. All of these can lead to brain fog. When should you see a doctor? If your brain fog is coming every now and again and it's very short-lived and you go for a quick walk and you feel better and it goes, you probably don't need to see your doctor. If it's recurring very often, if it is persistent, as in you have it every day, if it's getting worse, or if it's interfering with your life, please, please, please go and see your doctor. I'm sorry if you can hear the background noise. There appears to be a helicopter just outside of my house, so I do apologize if you can hear that noise. So please, please, please see your doctor. It could be your brain and your body sending you a signal that something is up and you need to pay attention. As always, getting earlier medical care is better than leaving it. Nearly always the better option. So what can you do about it? I would love for you not to be suffering from brain fog. So number 1, sleep. So important. Aim to get 7 to 9 hours consistently. Sleep is when your brain is clearing out all of those toxins. Something I discovered about a year ago from the very famous Andrew Huberman is getting sunlight in the morning in the first 90 minutes of the day is really good for brain health, but it's particularly good for controlling your sleep patterns, and it affects the amount of melatonin you produce later on in the day. So get outside. Even if it is raining, it can be of benefit. Avoid caffeine 6 to 8 hours before bed. Some people say that they can drink coffee just before bed. They may be fooling themselves. The research kind of shows they would probably be sleeping better. If they didn't, sure, it might not be preventing them from getting sleep, but the quality, quantity, and architecture of their sleep is not going to be as good. Caffeine is a massive sleep disruptor. And sleep really is non-negotiable. Fall in love with sleep like I have learned to do. The next thing is hydration and nutrition. Your brain needs good hydration. Start your day with water. Something I also discovered fairly recently is you can be dehydrated even if you're drinking a lot of water if you're not having electrolytes. So, add a little bit of sea salt to your water or get one of those supplements. Again, be careful. I was doing some research to try and find a cheaper version of what I'm taking, and they all had B vitamins added to it. I already have enough B vitamins. So read the labels carefully. Make sure you're getting just what you need. Eat protein-rich foods. Protein is necessary for building all of your neurotransmitters, including dopamine. Avoid blood sugar crashes. Balance. If you're going to eat carbohydrates, make sure you have some fruits and vegetables. These have fiber. That prevents you from having the crash, and also fat and protein. Another thing I also discovered recently is if you walk, even for 10 minutes after a meal, it can halve your blood sugar increase. So that is a cool thing to do. It doesn't take long. And also you get the added benefits of exercise. Most people need to be taking an omega-3 supplement and a magnesium supplement. Check with your doctor. There are a handful of people who can't take it, like if you're on blood thinners and things like that. So, consider taking those two things because most people are deficient. Vitamin D is another one as well. Move. Exercise boosts clarity. It improves brain health. Even a 10-minute brisk walk can change your brain chemistry. And cold exposure is another thing as well. Some people like plunging themselves in icy cold water. There is really no need to do that. You can if you like, but a 30 to 60-second cold shower can pretty much do the same, and it raises your dopamine 250% above baseline, and that can last for hours. Isn't that cool? Next is visual focus. Often people have brain fog because they're spending too much time looking at things that are really close to them. Take a break, get outside, or even just like I am, look out of the window, look at the horizon, look as far as you can. Do that for 1 to 2 minutes, and it can really, really help with the brain fog. Last, another one of my favorites is mindfulness practice. When I used to do neurofeedback therapy, I'd be looking at people's brainwave activity. Within 60 seconds of doing breath work or mindfulness practice, you would start to see a shift in brainwave activity. It happened as quickly as that. It was like watching magic happen. Mindfulness practice resets your attention system and decreases your stress. Give it a go. So I would love for you not to be suffering from brain fog. Having had it for about 5 months, and of course off and on as well, like everybody does, I would love for you not to be struggling with brain fog. I really don't recommend it. It's not pleasant. And it is a sign that something is going on in your brain. Your brain is sending a signal. So just to finish up, if you have brain fog, don't ignore it. Your brain is telling you that something is wrong. Maybe it's just that you're tired or underfueled or understimulated. And it's not a personal failure. It is a physiological signal from your brain and your body. So take action. You don't deserve to be in brain fog. You deserve to be clear and have a brain that is thinking sharply and able to focus. And it won't just benefit you if you deal with your brain fog, it will benefit everybody around you. There will be an amazing ripple effect. So I hope that was useful today. I love talking about brain health. So thank you for showing up and being on this live with me today. Fall in love with your brain. It is the operating system for your body, for your brain, for your mind, for your life. And it is trying really hard to help you. So fall in love with your brain and do all that you can to help it. Stay sharp, stay curious, and I'll see you next time. Maybe I'll do another live soon. Bye for now.